We'll call the meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. Quorum is present. We'll ask Pastor Larry Key from Early First Baptist to offer a word of prayer before we start. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for asking me. It's an honor to be able to open you up in prayer this morning. All right, let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. Lord, we know in your word, Lord, that you have established governments for the purpose of maintaining order and justice. And Lord, I just lift up to you these men and women in this room, Lord, as they lead out, as they serve the people. Lord, I pray that you give them wisdom and guidance. Lord, that you would strengthen them in their work. Lord, we thank you for them and their willingness to serve in this way. Lord, I pray that you'd bless them. Lord, I pray for our entire Brown County, Lord, the leaders for the state of Texas, Lord, for nationwide. Lord, I pray that you would guide our leaders to what pleases you, to what is right. And Lord, I pray that you bless us as a nation. God, we lift up to you all the different organizations, communities in our community, Lord, that you would guide them and bless them. Lord, we lift the schools, the administrators in the schools, the teachers, the medical professionals, the first responders, the churches in the area. Lord, I pray that you guide us and help us to shine your light and to spread your love in this place. God, I pray your blessing on today. I pray your blessing on everyone who is here. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much. Next is the time set aside for citizens' comment. We have one. Mr. Rumfeld is here.
Yes,
You've got the floor.
okay, thank you. Appreciate y'all's time. I'm Dennis Rumfield. I'm representing American Legion Post 196, it's local post here. And I'm kind of representing Mays also. You're with May, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We've got some good things going on there. It's on the rise. We've got memberships up. Y'all's membership is up. American Legion there also. Some really good things are available through the American Legion that are not being taken advantage of. We're bringing those to light. So one thing here, what we got coming up on the 28th of February is at Larry, it's from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And it's not it's much a full day program. It's kick off at 10 o'clock. And we got a group coming in called American Military Family Got Your Six. These people are the real deal. They're out of Colorado, and they were founded 20 years ago by a lady named Debbie Nickel-Heaney. And what they are, they're a group of veterans, and they're seasoned veterans that are experienced with PTSD, TBI, and they're counselors, that they're going to come down and put on a suicide prevention program at the Larry. Okay, what they're going to do, they're going to come down here, and Debbie will introduce it, everything, tell you what they are about, what they've done. There'll be testimonials, there'll be some videos, and she has a team, like I said, of seasoned counselors that have been in combat and understand the veterans' mentality. So what we're doing, we're reaching out to the county, the city, our first responders, the surrounding communities, the surrounding counties to come together and come to this event. We're thinking, we need to get your law enforcement on board, because since the city's they've already been notified, and they're getting their people on board. And we're getting all the first responders, also other the fire department, healthcare workers, got XL on board, Hendrix is on board. We're just trying to bring everybody together. It will be a registration process through the Lyric. Not everybody's got to register for it, because some veterans out there, they may not want to really put their name forward. They may want to just come in there and sit in the back row. So I've been in contact with Mr. Johnston back here. He has all my information. And if you could communicate through him, he can communicate with me. And I could help with the registration process where we get a good number to give these people.
Okay.
And it's not.
What were the dates again?
Yeah,
I'm
tell
sorry.
us, that's what I was gonna say. I was fixing to ask the same
Okay,
question.
February 28th at the Lyric, 10 a.m. And if you go on, these people are pretty intense. We put it on at 5 o'clock, but that's not necessarily the cutoff time. So they find somebody in the crowd, the flag goes up, they actually send some of that team to go straight to that person and start drawing some information out of it. And these people will actually stay over as long as they have to go into their environment and speak with them. If they make that contact, and they will have that contact, and say down the road a couple of weeks, you look at the beer, whatever, something flares up, they can call these people, and these people will get on the plane, and they will be in Brownwood or be at their location with their family. And this is open to the family also. Okay,
All right. Have you talked to the Brownwood News?
I have.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure they had it. And Bulletin's not here today?
I got somebody else working on both.
Oh, okay.
We got it.
They may only work once a month. I don't know.
Understand?
What was your name again?
Dennis.
Dennis Rumfield.
Yeah.
Dennis Rumster.
Yes. He's got my
Okay.
contact.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dennis.
I didn't catch it all. Could be.
You got one more, Joe.
Yeah, I saw, when he was talking, I saw somebody else. You want to step forward, sir?
Who do I give this to?
I'll take it, yeah.
Did you get my email?
This is Dean Clements, and he's wanting to discuss County Road 292,
Or the 310,
310, okay.
have we gotten anywhere?
Well, now, you have an attorney, right? And you're represented by an attorney in that case,
As it stands,
okay? And so, those kind of questions really need to come from him, but yes, he has been in touch with us, and yes, we are continuing to discuss that.
okay?
I can't tell you what the resolution would be because I don't know what the resolution will be. But your attorney has been in contact with county attorney's office and the county judge's office, and we're discussing those possibilities.
And you and Shaw, if y'all need in that gate to go look, You've done-
went and looked. We've
oh,
already-
y'all done, you've already,
Yes, sir, we've gone out to it, and I've visited with your attorney multiple times. I was anticipating you would ask to get back on the agenda at some point, just haven't seen that.
to update y'all, just hopefully, fingers crossed. I've reached out to a real estate agent, and she is working, I'm gonna try to buy that piece of property. If, this is my question, I guess, to Shaw or you or who, the county attorney. Does that change anything? I know we're still gonna decommission the road or give it up or y'all or whatever. Would that help?
I mean, and as much as I hate to say this,
Okay, I get you.
you need to ask your attorney.
Well, I'm nearly at my wit's end.
Okay,
Hang in there.
Y'all, if y'all talk later, I'm nearly at my wit's end.
okay. And I understand.
I do. I just want y'all to know that I'm nearly at my wit's end.
Yeah.
So I just want
Maybe I could visit with you afterwards.
to, well, I'm here, so I'm fighting that most right now. So, but I'll be on premise and I'll be across the street at the election building. I'm the one doing all the mess. And I've got, y'all just bear with us at the courthouse. I've been shut down by Atmos for
Yeah.
7 days, and it's all I can do to keep pushing forward to try to get this done by Friday. So I know the cones are in everybody's way, but just bear with
But
us.
I'm aware of the problem and the
You
issue, and I
okay.
understand you're working on it, and I
Okay.
appreciate that.
On both sides.
Yeah. I understand your construction We know the issue and we know that's not a problem you didn't create.
I did not. Okay, I thank y'all for y'all's time.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks, y'all. Thank y'all.
Approval of the agenda minutes from the previously regular meeting. Have y'all, everybody had a chance to review those? It's been moved. Have y'all had a chance to, may want to second that?
What was the date on that one?
1 year,
What was the date
all
on it?
of the same.
It's from the
29th.
29th, January the 29th. It's been moved and seconded that they are approved as prepared. Any discussion? Are you reading them, Joe?
I don't have any past the 16th, is what I was looking to see. But it may just be because I didn't have them in here, but okay, I'll go along anyway, but I've not seen them.
All right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Any
Any opposed? There is none. And you can show that Mr. Worley abstained since he was not here that day. Treasurer and auditors reports. Not one today. Burn ban, no action as appropriate, I would imagine. Is everybody okay with that?
I think we're good. Pretty soon.
No employee changes. We'll go down to new business, which is consideration, possible approval of 2024 Commissioner Court meeting calendar.
Best I can tell, Judge, this is the second and the fourth Monday of the month. Is that correct?
Certainly appears that way.
Except for during the budget time. They've got it every week. during the
Yeah,
budget time.
weekly during August and September.
And that's second and the fourth are the regular monthly meetings as we approved on our rules of decorum and they're stated. So
You want to make a motion to approve the schedule?
I'll move that we approve the Commissioners Court schedule for, I guess, 2024. And we'll also note that if something comes up, we could call a special session at any time. So I move we approve this schedule.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the 2024 Commissioners Court schedule for the remaining months in the year. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none. Thank you. Consideration and possible action, possible approval regarding paying Black Plumbing invoice for work done at the Oaks Juvenile Center.
So, just kind of refresh everybody's memory, here's the original bill at 21,000. This was for the, realigning of the sewer line out of Oaks, after the floor got leveled, okay? Justin Farsis, came to Commissioners Court on April 10th and gave his view of why they felt like they needed that amount. And then on April 13th, he submitted another bill which revised that number down to $18,727.57. Since then, I was instructed to visit with Justin again. He was supposed to come back and reappear and visit with you gentlemen about whatever he could do to get that bill straightened out. He is reluctant to come in, so he came and visited with me And we talked about it, and he's willing to drop the bill to 11,000 if we can just close this thing out. Personally, I think we're good at 11,000. And so, and at this point, as far as the Oaks is concerned, the only existing issue that's left out there, Commissioner Worley came out there with me and we looked at some flooding going on beside the building and had talked about, I had talked about us using some county equipment to expose the pipe, and Commissioner Worley suggested that we get a plumber to take care of that, and they've brought that issue back up. But as far as the inside of the building, we have finished up the pipe chase. It's been taken care of at a reasonable price, and this is the only outstanding bill right now for the work that's going on out at the Oaks. So,
11,000 even?
correct.
If you
He
want-
was showing me his shopping list of the people he had on site and what their rates are and what their expenses are. And I said, well, Justin, you realize I understand that just because you bill a guy out at $30 an hour doesn't mean that's what you're paying the guy. So you're not out $30 an hour. And
Just close out all outstanding bills on that, all those.
Black plumbing, correct.
Well, actually, that closes out everything for the Oaks
Yes,
project.
I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah.
There are no other outstanding bills.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Maybe we could gift that to the city. Is that in the city limits?
Yes, it is. I think. No, wait a minute. That may be in precinct two. No, I don't want
I don't know, is that,
it.
is the state school in the city limits?
Yes,
There you go.
but I don't think the one across the street is.
We can do some trading, a little horse trading.
No, I don't know. With that building, we'll just give it.
Well,
But back to the business at hand, yes.
Gotcha.
I
So-
would make a motion, we accept that. It's not really a proposal, what is
Let's
it?
pay the final invoice from
Yeah.
Black Plum.
Negotiated price there on the final invoice. How about that?
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the payment of the final invoice from Black Plumbing for work done at the Oaks Juvenile Center. Any discussion?
$11,000.
11,000 even. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll pay it next week.
Anybody opposed? Okay, it's passed. Thank you.
I would like some direction as to the next step that I need to take about the flooding beside.
Yeah, we'll take that up.
Okay,
We'll talk about that outside.
I need to speak to you about a precinct 2 thing after court too, if you got me.
gotcha. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
All right, consideration possible approval of a contract with the city of Brownwood for renovations and operation of the building at 305 Booker Street. Who's speaking for the city? We got 4 distinguished. While Pat is headed toward the front. I'll give a kind of an update. We had received the proposed contract and have gone through a series of revisions on that, including as of, I don't know, Thursday or Friday of last week. Then on Friday, Commissioner Kelton and I and Ms. Broughton went back over and looked at it again, just to talk about a few issues. And so that's kind of where we're at. We're still working out the details. I mean, we still got a few details left. Does anybody have questions?
Well, I had several after that. Was partially to do with parking. What entrance are we, if we were to rent the other part, what would be our entrance to that? I noticed they got a lot of designated parking right there for the school, still right there at what would be the front of the building, not counting the handicap, but TSTC only.
And do you, and how about, you want Lisa, you want to come up here and stand next to him? Some of those may be
He might
Lisa
need support.
questions, some of them may be attorney questions.
As far as the parking goes, the way the parking lot is owned, front part is owned by, continues to be owned by TSDC. We have a parking agreement with them for the entire use. The side of the building, if you notice, has, I think, about 22 spots, so we'll have that. And then, of course, the front part, we have the ability to use it, subject to TSDC if they need it. I don't think they'll need it. We also have a number of parking lots around it. So the parking will be far superior to the election office you have now, for example. So we feel pretty good about the parking, I think.
Yes, and so there is a city-owned lot adjacent to that, and that is where my staff will be parking, just because we want to make sure that our clients.
Is that the one to the west?
Yes.
The one behind it?
Yeah, west to the west,
Kind of to the side.
yes,
Well, there was
Well,
one,
y'all own that.
yes.
the one directly behind it would be west, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the one to the side of us is the west, but then we own across the street on the west, there's another parking lot. So we think there's, and we own some other property around there, could be turning parking, but because of the fact is, if you go by there, the parking lot is hardly used at all, even in the front of the building, it's very sparse. So I think on a typical day, you're gonna have access to a lot of that. So-
Well, when we were there on Friday, there was an 18-wheeler parked there on the south side across from any of those lots. It's quite a few TSTC cars parked along the north side of the front lot. And then there were cars scattered all around in there. And that was kind of toward the end of the day. That's the first time I've ever probably gone and looked at it during business hours like that. So there was,
Yeah, I'm sure they're on occasion, they're gonna be using it, but again, parking is not too bad.
what about entrance into the, these are questions I had. I'm sorry you asked.
Oh, no, no.
What
I'm
about the
just
entrance?
listening
What
to you.
about, what about entrance into the park that they were talking about possibly leasing to the county for itself?
I think that'll have to be, they'll need to build an entrance into that portion.
I know
There is a-
there's some side entrances, but I don't really feel satisfied personally with the side entrance idea.
Yeah, I think that's, thought was, is y'all probably want to build a new entrance to that area.
So there's not a shared lobby. You're not, that front lobby, you're not, okay, that's not included. I understand what you're saying.
Of course,
So,
the buildings will be separated, so we'll be going back and forth, in your space, where we don't go into the other parking space. On a typical, I'm not saying you couldn't, but that's just not designed for that way.
Yeah, I'm assuming those double doors, those will stay locked, right?
They should, yes.
the ones between the two, the quote unquote two buildings, the addition and the original building, okay.
Isn't that a foyer?
Well, that's kind of what I thought, but that's not how they're not wanting to include that portion to where we have access through there to the county portion. But yeah, it's like
It's been a long time since I was in there, about a year, I think. But I was thinking that was more or less a foyer, and there was a door that went to the left. And that goes that would go to the health department side. And then there's a door that goes to the right, that would go to the county side. If it is a foyer, the front doors could remain open. If you want to lock your side of it, that's fine.
Not exactly laid out that way.
That's not what they're.
Lay it on my
That's
desk.
not what the city
About
wanted
that
to do.
It's not there now.
Well,
It's not a foyer type area now.
not really.
No, it's really like two separate buildings.
It is
and
like-
kind of looking at
Well, I
it.
Yeah,
understand,
actually,
but
she's
there was a
gonna
wall,
get
there was a wall there that
She's
had,
going,
Right.
she's going to get the big ones.
Okay.
Lisa.
Like I said, it's been years since I was in there.
Yeah,
But that's what I was
separate,
remembering.
there's a separate entrance on the, yeah, whatever that side.
Yeah, there's a door on that side of the building. I remember that.
Yeah,
there were 2 or
two.
3 along the north side. I think it's north. I'm only backwards when I'm in
I thought it
upstairs
was
here.
the east, but
I think
we'll,
that's north.
we'll,
What do you call the main street?
Nothing.
If you call the main street that runs in front of the old Montgomery, that's north and south, right? More or less,
is it?
more or less.
Is
north.
it?
Well, it makes some twists and
But
turns.
it's more or less north and
I don't
south.
think there's,
Every
I don't think there's any
left-
street in,
There's-
there's no street in the city of Brownwood that goes north and west. and east.
Okay.
I mean, east and west and north and south, they're all diagonal.
All right. Well, I'll take my Boy Scout compass and go back
Yeah,
to that
right.
later.
Let's see. Yeah, she's gone to get the good blueprint.
So this is the entrance here that we would be going into the health department, and then here is the door
This is,
that separates the two, and there's actually an entrance right here, which is on the side.
like all the parking's out here and that's the street and you have to walk
Yeah,
back.
this is the street.
So depending on what they used it for, whether that was a problem.
That's gonna be a little bit easier to read than this smaller version.
I got it upside down for us. I think Gary, there's that petition. There's not really you walk in and there's some offices right there too. That's your plan, proposed plan, right?
Those are existing offices there.
Right.
So just the green lines would be additions to fill out office space.
And that's where I was gonna ask how we came up with, what is it, 1.7 or something million for, what are we doing? I mean, I don't know if we got granite floors, marble columns, or what do we got in there? I don't know, that sounds like a lot of money to me, but
No, so,
I'm cheapskate perhaps, but that sounds crazy.
and Tim may
First
be able
thought.
to help me a little bit here, but actually the first bid was over 2 million. And so we've gone back in and we have, looked at various different things, ways that we can cut back, including the, city doing some of the work on their own and cutting back on things that I would consider normal part of construction these days. But so now instead of, so we cut back on like the style of floor, so we would be going with the basic T-tile. And we cut back on, just basic design things and even making the entrance simpler. And what else have we done?
Cut back on the architectural part of it. We're using our drawings. Since we pretty much designed how we wanted to lay out, we don't need the architectural part of it, which that was like $100,000 cut right there in itself. The major expense components of this project is mainly the roof and the HVAC, the electrical and the plumbing of this building. The roof it needs to be totally stripped off and rebuilt. The HVAC system on that side of the building needs to be all replaced. There was some of the plumbing on some of the bathrooms that they're wanting to add for testing and hand washing and virus and stuff like that. Negative air pressure rooms that we'll have to run plumbing over there and do salt cut into the slab. There is some asbestos abatement that will have to be done that will be included into that. And then basically the electrical that has to be done over there. Those are your big ticket items on this project. As Lisa stated, the original bid come in over $2 million. We've went back to the contractor Covington 2 or 3 times, slicing and dicing this thing as close as we could get it to the bone. Doing some of the stuff ourselves in-house. Back there in the back storage area, we're gonna take care of the chain link dividers for the emergency management stuff. Some of the electrical, like emergency electrical service for generator service, we're gonna kind of put that off till later on in the budget year and then try to work that in on a different deal to save some money there. We received 2 bids on this project. The original low bid was a little over $2 million. The next bid come in at 2.4. So we worked hard with Covington to get their part down to 1.671 was their part, is what we took theirs down to. And then the rest of it, chain link material for the city doing it in-house comes to about $2,500. installing a generator plug for emergency situations like during storms or something like that. It's about $3,300. Using our contracted engineer, his estimated cost was $16,000. And then, that brings with Covington's, bid of 1.6, that brings it to your cost of, a little over 1.7.
So none of those are load bearing. Is that a freestanding building? Those are non-load bearing walls, or are they?
It's a freestanding building, no
Okay.
load bearing walls. Another thing we cut out too is we were gonna, put in some walls to do some dividing on offices and stuff. We decided on some of the bigger rooms just to do for right now, to do temporary office petitions on some of the ones that are not so sensitive as far as having to be private, as far as, conversations and stuff like that, so.
What kind of roof does it currently have? Is it like a flat roof, gravel and tar? Is that what that is? Or
It is a tar and gravel roof on top of it. There's gonna be some structural work that has to be done up there, because over the years, the weight of the units, HVAC units have caused a low spot in the roof, which has caused a lot of leaking and damage. So all that has to be beefed up and made level again and then redone.
And another thing we hadn't talked about is the actual cost to run this building compared to the one we're in now. What's it gonna cost to actually, who knows? What do we spend now, like, or, if we're supposed to have shared costs, what are we spending now and what will it be in the future?
As far as the electrical bill goes, utility bill on that, it should be somewhat cheaper. Or be cheaper, but it'll be comparable to what we're spending now, because you're gonna have newer units that are gonna be more energy efficient. New lighting that's gonna be all LED instead of the regular incandescent bulbs, which is gonna pull less wattage. I will tell you, the current building we're in now, and one of the hats I wear at the city is I'm over the facility maintenance department as well. Lisa wears me out on maintenance calls for either leaks on the roof, HVAC work, plumbing issues, all the infrastructure on that current building. If you can imagine, it has cast iron plumbing underneath the slab. Over the years, you started out with maybe a 4 or 6 inch pipe, you probably got a 2.5, 3 inch pipe now. And there's only one way to fix that, and that's to saw cut the slab and dig it up and redo it. And the roof on that building is shot too.
We just went through that at the juvenile detention area, so we got a good dose of that recently.
I don't know what the number is on maintenance calls and calls over there. I just know that I get almost a weekly call from Lisa or something over there.
And we're trying not to ask to repair things that, are not necessary. Right now, if we can live with it, we're leaving them, just because we don't want to just keep adding extra expenses to the building. And kind of for the cost, we're like the payment that's split from the city and the county currently. I think we both budgeted for this current year around $175,000, $174,000 each. And so the cost of the health department is relatively inexpensive. I mean, we're talking about $350,000-ish combined, but then what the health department brings back in is more like $2.2 million. There are 20 employees at the health department, and the city and the county combined are paying for 3 of those staff. The rest of those are grant funded. And then we also bring in another over $1 million in funds that are provided to the county citizens through our WIC program. So those are actual funds that help prevent hunger in our community.
Is any of this contingent on whether or not we occupy the other part of the building? No.
Originally, we didn't know if y'all were gonna use an occupied portion of the building. It's just that it's unoccupied. It has not been renovated. And so it's basically separate buildings, I understand it. And so all along, the plan has been for the use of the joint county, city health department space.
What's the square footage on the current apartment building?
So, yeah, it's around 6,000. So that,
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear that. 6,000
around
currently?
6,000, and I'll double check and I'll send an email back to y'all, but
And the proposed amount's gonna be,
it's a little, it's 13.
I'm sorry,
13,400, I believe.
13,400. Well, I will be the first to admit, because I did a walkthrough over there, that they are crowded where they're at.
Yes, so it's 7,000.
Elbow to elbow in there.
7,200 is the current building. And then we also had some additional storage area that was away from the health department. And so what we'll be combining are both of those, our current office space plus the storage space that we had that was further down Lee Street.
Am I the only one asking questions?
No, they're good questions.
I had a few.
We'll keep going.
Well, I'm trying to think what else I wanted to know about.
And well, the other portion of the building is not included in this
Hmm.
1,600,000. So if we occupied that building, the county would be responsible for refurbishing, redoing, rehabilitating the whole thing. Is that correct?
That is correct. I would like to add to that, though. That side of the building, your roof is in good shape. The HVAC units are more updated than the ones on the other side, so they should be working properly. From when they added that building on, they added plumbing from the old building out to the sewer tap stuff. So all that is Schedule 40 PVC, no cast iron. So adding bathrooms to that side, you're gonna have good plumbing underneath slab, you don't have to worry about that. In all aspects, that side of the building is in way better shape than the side that we're kind of, electrical, HVAC, roof, plumbing is all way better. So,
When you do your renovation, are they gonna stub out? You're gonna be into the floors and the bathrooms of the current, or you're gonna be going into
We're
that?
just gonna refurbish the current bathrooms.
So in order to get into that plumbing, though, we're gonna have to go under the slab somewhere to get in there, right?
The plumbing comes through the other side of the building, and there's two clean outs right there on the other side of the wall.
From the bathrooms?
Yes, sir.
So-
So it would be easy to tap into that and add your bathrooms onto that same line.
We won't have to cut into the other side to get
No, sir.
to plumbing and whatever. We'd have to get into our side to do it.
See, we didn't see those clean outs.
Well, no, and it was, even with the lights, it's hard to see in there. We've been.
Right there in that very back room where the electrical panel is on the left wall. There is a firewall that separates the two. For you that have lived here a long time, that used to be a grocery store a long time ago. So you got the HADAC block wall that goes all the way up to the roof ceiling. So in all aspects, they're two separate buildings.
Yeah.
But you have a firewall there, but right on the other side of it, when they added that other building, they put two clean outs right there.
Okay.
So coming from there to the city sewer tap is all good shape.
To be back there in that shop area.
Well, I remember it was right opposite those other restrooms in there, I guess. Was where it says future restrooms here. I still would be concerned in what we wanted to do with it. If we were to use that part, we'd have to create access here, but you would think we'd want the parking area immediately in front of that if we did that, and that's occupied right now. So I don't know, we need to,
It's not occupied. Parking in front of that's not occupied.
well, they got, all the ones down that side of the street are already, they're designated parking. There'd have to be some negotiations there on some parking. You know what, we need to have another sit down and figure out exactly what we do with that, and then how it would flow, how the traffic would flow and people would flow, I think.
And then, is the building jointly owned between the city and the county, or does the city completely own the building?
City.
City completely owns the building. If we occupied this side over here, what would be the rent or lease or whatever?
It's set up as a 20-year lease, you only pay $1 a square foot, 2% escalator annually. And of course, the way it's set up now is y'all receive credit for the rent, for the value of the old building on half of it, which is like $372,000, 5 years worth of rent. And then any renovations you make to that space will also be a credit towards.
Okay.
5 years.
Well, 5 years.
The rent would-
5 years.
For
For the
three-
building. For the old building.
372,000 on the building and
Plus
whatever.
Whatever money you
guys
put into
decide
it,
to
so.
put into this
Yeah,
part that would be
whatever.
leasing, but it would be up to that 372, whichever's left. So if we only put $100,000, am I correct, into renovating that, then the additional credit we get is only up to $100,000. So 5 years for sure, plus whatever we do. And it's 5,746 square feet is what our portion is. Now, I haven't calculated that with the 2% annual rent increase. And Pat, how long, we've talked a little bit about this, but I just want to make sure everybody understands the time frame on that. You were anticipating that probably be about a year before we would be able to get in.
Well, I think we're talking to Lisa, we have a 290-day build out under our contract with Covington. So we right now currently in that unoccupied portion, we have this equipment stored from the health department. I guess it's quite some.
Yes.
It's a
We,
lot.
we, saw- we went, we
saw
walked through it.
Friday, yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
We waded our way through it. didn't we?
So the idea would be to push that back as far as we could. Don't need space immediately, which is what I understood.
Well, when would our rent begin? Once we actually occupied?
The way it's set up is it'd be appropriate, so if you all occupy 1,000 square foot, you pay 1,000 square foot.
My question was, when would that, we wouldn't start paying rent till we actually occupied?
Correct. Until you get a CO with occupying portion. So,
If and when, I should say. And then another question would be, on our side, we've only allotted 600,000. There's another 200 and, what was it?
35.
And when would that need to be available and where would it come from? When does that money need to be?
the way the agreement says you'll pay us as we incur it. So as we pay the contractor under their agreement, each monthly would be, and you would pay their portion.
The only place we could come up with that money is ARPA funds. We've already earmarked 600,000, so it'd be another 235,000.
Plus whatever renovations.
Plus the
So
renovations.
we're talking dipping into our fund balance. It's the only option we have at the moment. Unless we
No,
borrow,
not in the
unless
fund balance.
we borrow it. Well, there's ARPA money, like I said, it's already all, okay, I'm just trying to agree with you. So we've already dedicated it all out. It's not all spent, but it's all dedicated out.
Well,
We voted it.
dedicated is, yeah, we're gonna spend it. That doesn't mean we've spent it or we're obligated.
Right.
Well, we voted and dedicated it.
Well, dedicated doesn't mean obligated.
But you
That
might-
was just to cover the health departments. The 835,000 is just to cover the renovations for the health department. Anything we do on top of that, we would have to find money for. How bad are we in need of space, that space, to where we would spend, I don't know what it costs to renovate it. Probably another 300,000 to 500,000.
Well, putting the bathrooms in there, if you had to do some, if you needed a front entrance.
It's not gonna be 200,000. I would
Yeah, it's
say it'd be over.
Oh, no. I mean, I guess we need to go back over there and look at it.
Well-
I mean, you're
Well, we
talking-
need to have another meeting, talk about what we actually want to do with that and then what we would need to do to make that building work for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of depends on what we're going to use it for, if and what we use it for. If you were to use it for say, elections, you need good access. People go in and out. They don't have to walk down the side of the street, find their way in the side. They need to pull up to the front of the building and go in the front like you would a business like you would expect to. I wouldn't think you'd want to go park over here and then walk down there and walk down halfway down the side of the building and find your way in. That's just my thought. It's just, there's
Whatever.
a lot of stuff we hadn't talked about yet on that yet.
Well, the only thing I would ask is that our bid is good through the end of the month.
Mhm.
If we have to bid, it's gonna cost us a lot more money.
That was another question I had, so it was bid,
We're gonna give you an answer before your bids expire. We're not gonna kick this thing down the road.
when were your bids done? They're done after the COVID, for sure. I mean, it's been some.
Oh, yeah, his bids
But
were
some,
done.
some labor hadn't gone down, but some materials, I mean, any material, I mean, there's no chance it would be cheaper the time you bid it again, because labor didn't need to go up.
December 4th is when we did the bidding.
I think-
That's when we
okay.
got the
So that's barely,
First of March,
I-
give them an answer.
I would think that if you rebid it, it's gonna be
Yeah.
more.
One thing, the city manager and I talked, I don't know if it'd be beneficial if y'all appointed a couple of commissioners that want to come over and ask questions to our staff and just be able to have, you know, sometimes it's difficult.
Do you really want Joel over there asking questions?
I think I've already asked them all. Well, I'm just wanting to understand, I don't know how we got to where we're at exactly, I didn't know what the plans were. I understand the roof is probably a pretty major, I guess it's a major portion of that expense, I would bet.
Well,
I
I
don't
was
know that.
surprised looking at it. It wasn't.
Where is that?
100, here, I'm fixing to give it to you right here.
Is the roof broken out by itself?
105, I think I saw somewhere. Remove existing roof and install TP, I don't know what TPO means.
That's, hard paper, asphalt.
So that's not, I figured it'd be a lot more than that on the actual
I did too.
roof.
I was surprised. I'm fixing to make you a copy of all this. I thought we had-
Well, I've got,
Yeah, I thought that's,
I don't know, that's fine.
isn't it 105?
Yes.
Which I was very surprised.
I figured that'd be a bigger portion of it than that.
We were thinking it'd be significantly more than that, but
And we were merely guessing.
I know.
That's all we had to work with, was guessing.
Your demolition cost is pretty significant, at $120,000. And then,
That includes your abatement of your,
you
Asbestos.
get an additional $50,000 in there for the abatement cost, that's, you don't really have any leeway on that because that's state required, so.
Right.
Your mechanical, that's your HVAC, that's at $291. Electrical's at $234, those are your two huge ticket items right there.
And my electrical is 186. Are we looking at something different?
Yeah, I think what you printed is
This might be the old, the original,
Probably it is the original.
yeah.
Okay, I've got the new one. I'll make copies for them. So I've got it at 106, 186 for
This is the
electrical.
original, which come in at $285,000.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go make copies of this for you. And then, so Joel, who else wants to go to this? You want to?
to do what?
You want to?
To do what?
Go to the city and have further discussions about the details.
Well, I think we need to have a discussion about what we want to do
Well,
with this.
that's
It's separate.
that's what we need to do.
But this is irrelevant
Yeah,
compared, this
because
is
I will
totally
tell you,
different. So we're not obligated in that anyway, either way we go. So,
Because I agree, because I had never heard until 10 minutes ago, one mention of building a different entrance. That's completely new to me.
well, I was thinking if we had that,
I mean,
we'd have to have a financial. what I
We
call-
all went over there and looked at it and it was, I thought we.
We have side entrances, but it's what we use it for. If we use it for something that takes a lot of public in and out, we need front entrance. And if we do that, we need to be sure we have.
And that's what
available
I'm
parking
saying.
in front of
That has
building.
never, that has never been mentioned. And so if we've got issues like that to talk about, then yeah, we need to do it, set it for a meeting and discuss all those.
We need to do that.
But in the
In the
meantime,
meantime,
we need someone other than me to go to the city and ask them questions and negotiate.
Well, I think they've answered nearly every question I had right here
All right.
for the moment that I can think of, which is apparently, makes it sound like there's a lot, but there's a lot of questions.
All right.
We haven't, I think I told Emily, we really haven't been included. We just knew they talked about remodeling the building. That's all we knew. Didn't have any idea, any detail, anything until very recently. It had even really been discussed. So I didn't have any idea what it was gonna look like, what we were doing, roof, air conditioner, electrical. I mean, I didn't know the extent of what we were doing. We just hadn't really had that discussion. None of us, I don't guess any of us really ever heard any of that till
Well, when
we're
you-
asked to vote on it.
Okay,
So-
when you went and toured it 9 months ago or whenever,
Well,
wasn't it pretty evident that there was?
oh, yeah, but I mean, it was just, it was wide open. We voted to allow up to 600,000 for renovation, and then, but that, we saw no details beyond that until today, really, honestly. So I mean, I'm not, so it's, now we're getting details. To me, I'm finally getting details. It may have been out there, but I'm sorry I didn't get them, but today I'm finally getting details, so. But this, we need to have discussion about what we actually, if we don't want to use it, what we're gonna do with it, about what it would take to do that, I think.
Yeah, and I will tell you, personally, not on behalf of the court, looking at I don't have 1 ounce of problem with anything in that contract except, I just don't like the idea of paying rent on that. I mean, it's a huge investment by the county in a building that we don't own. And that's what I want to have further discussions about. I agree that you have to have a lease with a term, so it's not just this infinity, that's how the county and the city did things 30 years ago. Hopefully we're about to get out of that. And so I would like for us not to pay rent for 20 years and then we'll start paying rent, but we'll talk about those details. Other than that, the amount of money I think is very reasonable under the circumstances. I think it's needed. I think y'all have worked your tails off. You've come up with a great plan, and I think that we should, the additional amount of money to me is not.
Does that have to be done this year? Will that have to hit us before next year's budget?
No, there's 290 days would go into next year.
I'm talking about they want me to pay as they go along, so.
Oh,
No,
it's,
at the end of the day, we didn't have any use for it, so we're just gonna sit there until somebody can plan for it, so you don't have to start leasing it.
No, I
I mean,
guess I
he's
missed my
talking
point. I
about
said,
the
so we've got
construction
600,000 already in this year's budget. So
the
if-
construction
do we need
costs.
to, are we gonna have to come up with the rest of that in this year's budget? Is this gonna carry on through next year's budget before we're actually
Well,
needing the other 200 and?
Usually, as they get certain sections to a certain
How long is that?
290 days.
290 days.
So it's gonna be borderline getting done this year, so.
Generally,
What happened?
So, yeah, what you're asking, yes, for that $825,000, is part of that gonna come out of this fiscal year, and part of it gonna come out of, is that what you're
Oh, we're
asking?
gonna have to have it all.
And so what you, and I'm not trying to,
Have a construction draw.
yeah, so what you're wondering is the 600 that's already dedicated, would that get us through the fiscal year, or would we fund the end of it in next fiscal year? That kind of what,
There you go.
Is that what you're asking?
We'll be into next year's time.
So-
it probably would be
to
pretty
answer your
close.
question, generally what happens is, as they progress on the project, when they get to a certain part or get a certain part done, they'll send me what is called a pay app.
Yeah.
I'll review the pay app, go review the construction site, make sure that what they're asking to be paid for has been done and completed to our satisfaction. Then we okay the pay app, we pay that portion of it. So yes, it goes in payments. I don't know how y'all's budget year starts, when it starts, but we're talking about, this thing will go past October, even if we issue the notice to proceed the 1st of March, time they get up, get going, we're looking at probably November, December before they complete the project.
So that's
So that might push it a little.
Yeah.
We'll work on a payment schedule with them, maybe we'll have an idea.
What's your position with the city, Raleigh?
I'm the director of planning and development and
You may have already said that.
And director of maintenance.
engineering and project management
He's the building.
Permits,
and permits.
You're the building guy.
they're the mean ones.
Emily keeps handing me hats, I just keep putting them on.
Decide what we would like to put over in that building to make sure that we can do what we want to do. What offices, what people, what use for.
Okay. The contract is written, it only stipulates that it will not be used for probation. That's it. Okay. Isn't that what it says, or it kind of, I know that's paraphrasing.
Probation, probation.
But anything else?
Juvenile, that would be, it's not probation.
Okay, so today, y'all want to, do y'all want two of you to be involved in negotiations to finalize the contract? Do you want Jennifer and I to finalize negotiations of the contract? Do y'all want us and y'all?
On this portion, on the health department portion.
Well, it's a contract for the whole building.
Can we break those up to or something one right now until we get this all figured out?
No, because we're not, it's all gonna be one contract, but not today. Okay? Because I mean, we're not gonna piecemeal it, because this is contingent upon that, and that's contingent upon that, so.
Well, they just said, they just said that they wanted.
We-
Well, that's
we
kind of
just
how
need
that
this-
was originally.
Oh, back up,
I mean, originally, it was, it alluded to, we would have a lease in the future, but it wasn't specified what the terms would be, when rent would start, who would be there, how all that was gonna work, and so we merged that to our benefit, because
Yeah.
that's the big one of the big purpose for us is to have the space. So it didn't make sense to me to have you guys agreeing to this much of an investment without any kind of a guarantee of what the lease arrangement would look like for us. So if you're separating that out, that would be the concern with that.
I'm with you.
But that, the point I was gonna make is you don't have to designate and lease that space today. You just said we shall lease it, and we can put it in there any time in the next year you wanna come to us and let us know, and that's, and that way you know what the parameters of the lease are.
I think we do need to decide if we're gonna spend this $835,000 for refurbishing just for the health department, correct?
I mean, yeah, y'all can decide that separately. Y'all can say, we approve the
But we don't have to
835
decide that today. So-
plus,
It just has to be done by the end of February.
plus the 372.
They need to have time to act
from
for it in effect on it, so that it needs to get. You got, other than us making an agreement here, what they're gonna take to satisfy y'all by the end of the month, what you got, you've already voted on your part.
We just have to sign that agreement.
We have to sign an agreement between now and before the end of the month. When you say before the end of the month,
We-
is there a certain day there you need to have it back?
Well, I don't wanna wait till the last day, we have to give them a notice to proceed. And all that stuff. Certainly doesn't.
And Kathy, y'all have to approve the additional lease terms that that's in, or do you think that that's still
Yeah,
within
we'll,
what's already
we'll,
been
we'll talk about it at our next council meeting, but I
seen?
don't anticipate any issue.
Okay. You are gonna do it.
Okay,
Now, y'all might need to go, I don't know if y'all wanna go look at it again.
yeah, obviously they need to.
So I'm gonna just look at that individually or however y'all.
Well, what we'll do, yeah, we'll have, because we'll have to post an agenda. And so what we'll do is sometime later this week, we'll decide when. Is that okay? Later this week, with the necessary time to post an agenda, we'll post an agenda. We'll go over there as a group and look at it again. And if y'all, we'd love for y'all to be with us, and, you okay with that?
Yeah, we got a meeting on Thursday.
We can work around everybody's schedules.
Are we gonna be able to meet and have a discussion amongst ourselves for what we think might be our intentions for that? Before we go and start looking at the building and see how it actually happens? What would actually take care of that?
Well, why don't you be thinking about that? And then when we post that meeting, we'll.
I hear you.
Okay, when we post that meeting, that will give us an opportunity to discuss it.
Okay.
The uses.
We can't discuss it today.
I hear you, I understand, we have a meeting prior to whatever, have an idea what our kitchen.
Well, what we can do is
We
we
can
can,
do it all at the same time.
yeah, we can post, like say Thursday, for Friday morning. We'll post a meeting for Friday morning. We'll come in here, we'll talk about potential uses, and then we'll all load up.
There, I'm with you there. I'll second that.
Any information you need from us, please don't hesitate to call.
Y'all are very,
We'll
very,
try
very
everything we
responsive.
can. I know it's a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a great building.
I did too.
Hope the community's just good.
And y'all have been very responsive and easy to get a hold of and answer all of our questions. I appreciate that.
We appreciate y'all.
We're gonna change the look of the building from the front, or they still gonna look the same?
Look,
It'll look the same.
the exterior painting is in the bid, right?
That was removed with this.
That was an alternate.
Okay.
You're not doing, never mind.
So that is, we're saying it's very basic and that, I mean, it really is very basic.
And this is the same company that did the,
Senior citizens.
yeah, just say the Knowles and Wills building. but-
It is the same one,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They do very good.
And y'all had a really good
Had a
luck.
really good
Yeah.
experience.
You're there following up on them.
Well, there's, thing I like about them is they'll tell you, like on Monday morning, we're gonna have so-and-so there, and they'll be doing this and have it completed by tomorrow. You go by there and it's done. Everything that they say they're gonna do, they do.
Three bid, is that right?
We only received two.
Two, okay.
We had three people come look at it, but only two submitted the bids.
Yeah, and no-
Bennington and Park Hill.
yeah, no look,
Park Hill is.
nobody looked at it.
Not even the roof. I mean, it's not subcontracting different ones. It's all, they're gonna do it all.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
I know.
Look at it. I think that's actual.
What new business? Current?
Well, no, just all this back here is in the company. This is their actual bid. All right. Payment of bills. Has everybody looked over their bills?
Approve the bill as presented by the auditor.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bill as presented by the auditor. Any discussion? It's related to the You all right? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? There is none. They are approved. We will adjourn at 10:05 p.m.
Nice.
We got me.